Hello and welcome to the United Kingdom of Christ podcast. I'm your host, Griego, coming to you from the beautiful Denver metro area. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me for the Bible study session today. I hope you find these episodes as amazing as I do, having the opportunity to make them for you. If you'd like to connect with me, you can follow me on X, the application formerly known as Twitter. My handle is UK_Christ. I can also be reached via email at uk.christ@outlook.com. You can also call or text me at 720-805-8886. Please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions, comments, concerns. If there's anything within my means that I can help you with, I'd be more than happy to assist. So today we are here in Genesis 16, and let's go ahead and knock it out, huh? Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children, and she had an Egyptian maid whose name was Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, Now behold, the Lord has prevented me from bearing children. Please go into my maid. Perhaps I will obtain children through her. And Abram listened to the voice of Sarai. After Abram had lived 10 years in the land of Canaan, Abram's wife Sarai took Hagar the Egyptian, her maid, and gave her to her husband Abram as his wife. He went into Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her sight. And Sarai said to Abram, May the wrong done me be upon you. I gave my maid into your arms, but when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her sight. May the Lord judge between you and me. But Abram said to Sarai, Behold, your maid is in your power. Do to her what is good in your sight. So Sarai treated her harshly, and she fled from her presence. Now the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to Shur. He said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, where have you come from, and where are you going? And she said, I am fleeing from the presence of my mistress Sarai. Then the angel of the Lord said to her, Return to your mistress and submit yourself to her authority. Moreover, the angel of the Lord said to her, I will greatly multiply your descendants so that they will be too many to count. The angel of the Lord said to her further, Behold, you are with child, and you will bear a son, and you shall call his name Ishmael. Because the Lord has given heed to your affliction, he will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him. And he will live to the east of all his brothers. Then she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her. You are a God who sees, for she said, Have I even remained alive here after seeing him? Therefore the well was called Bir Lahai Roi. Behold, it was between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called the name of his son, whom Hagar bore, Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to him. And that is the completion of Genesis 16. One moment. So, a couple things that this brings to mind. First of all, patience. Abram knew that he was going to have a son, and he was, that's what the Lord told him. Hey, you're going to have a son. But Sarai was also very, very impatient here. She's like, well, hey, you know what? I'm not having any kids right now, or at all, right? In their old age, Abram was 86. And Sarai says, go ahead and take the maid and have a child. Maybe she'll be able to conceive because I haven't been able to. So he does, and then Sarai gets extremely jealous. And obviously it says as well that Hagar wasn't very happy with Sarai either. So there's a lot of friction in that relationship, right? And I'm sure, thankfully, there's, you know, the New Testament pretty much puts an end to polygamy, thankfully. I wouldn't even want to try to keep two women happy, let alone, yeah, no. So anyways, the patience. If they had had the patience, as we know later on, that Sarai actually does end up having a child, which is an extreme blessing. But what I want to also discuss is look at the name of the child, Ishmael. Does that sound familiar to anybody besides myself? It's Islam, people. This is Islam. And that is, a lot of people may not want to hear it, but that is where Islam came from, right? They're obviously not direct descendants. It wasn't, you'll see later, and we'll talk about it. And there's a beautiful prophecy that is written just a couple more chapters ahead. But that is Islam. If you want to argue with me, feel free. That's on you. It's not on me. I'm not too concerned about it. And maybe other pastors haven't picked that up before. And maybe lots of pastors know it. And maybe you know it. But either way, patience, and we see Ishmael, Islam. And that'll probably end up being exactly it for the day. So I want to thank you again for taking the time to listen to this episode. My name is Glenn Griego, the host of United Kingdom of Christ podcast. You can reach me on X, the application formerly known as Twitter. The handle is UK_Christ. You can also reach me via email at uk.christ@outlook.com. You can also call or text me at 720-805-8886. Once again, don't hesitate. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you need, let me know, okay? God bless.